Hello, everyone. It is Robyn Linn, and with me, I have the lovely, the talented, the amazing Bernadette Giorgi. Hello, Bernadette.
Hello.
So let's start the conversation with where we just left it. And
Okay.
for those who are listening and tuning in who are not part of our meaningful branding groups or the School of Online Business or Academy of Coaching Cognition, you get to eavesdrop in, and I'll be doing a little in and out with you today on the process that I'm guiding Bernadette in today. And for those of you who don't know Bernadette, she has created a couple videos that I've sent out to a lot of you who've been connecting with me. And if you haven't seen anything at all from Just Be Bernadette, you can message me and email me, and I will gracefully send you a few videos that Bernadette has recorded talking about her past as a fitness professional in the industry, trying to build her brand and website from the outside in, realizing that it was more about connecting to who she really is in business. So I had asked Bernadette just a minute ago if she's open to cutting through some deep layers here and really getting some intense work done in just the hour we have together. So Bernadette, what was your answer to me just a moment ago?
Yeah, let's dig in. Let's dig in because I feel like I'm really close to my message, but I seem to go in and out of it, go from my heart to my head and my head to my heart. So, yeah, I want to figure it out.
Okay. I think a lot of people that I've spoken to who are looking to be more authentic in business are also going from a headspace to thinking, pounding their head, trying to figure it out in the head, and realizing that they're doing it wrong, but they're not quite knowing how to bring it back into the heart space to connect to their message authentically. Even if your message is authentic, it's difficult sometimes, even if you have a product or a course or a training or a book or a service as you do, it's difficult sometimes to know how to market that successfully to people who don't yet know you and who aren't in your world. I was actually
Right.
speaking to a woman just a few moments ago, and she spent a lot of time and money, as you did, Bernadette, on building a website and a book. And I had asked her, "Are you willing to do the work it takes to step into your authentic presence, going on video, learning how to connect to your audience who doesn't quite yet know you, rather than slapping them this inauthentic brand that doesn't quite connect to the emotion of what you do?" And she
Mm.
got very defensive. So you've been there before.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my first call with you guys because you feel like what was I lied to, or I feel like when you're going down these steps and you hire professionals, you put your trust in them and you feel like you are being real, but you don't really even I don't think I really even knew what that meant. For instance, like I helped design my website. Why is it still sitting there and no one knows it's there? It's very pretty. And so like I remember thinking, I just want the end game. I want to know that formula to bring people to the site. And I didn't understand that I liken it to like, a house with like pretty shutters and then it's falling apart on the inside. Like the foundation wasn't there. My heart was there, but I didn't know how to bring that forward, if that makes sense. So I'm just now starting to understand what that means. And when you first hear it, then it feels like you're being called a fake, like you're not, but it's not that. It's like trying to figure out how to bring the real you out.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think where I want to start, and I had asked you to do this as well as some other of the women when I worked with Allison last week. What I'm going to have you do now, and those listening here are welcome to do this as well. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take our breath together, and I'd like you to close your eyes, and hopefully we can listen to the video. I'm not sure if it's going to come through audio-wise as clear as it would if those listening to your Facebook video here. So I'm going to play the video, and I'm going to I'm going to take some notes as I'm listening to it, and I'm tuning in to a couple things. I'm going to tune into number one. basically, do you captivate me? Do you intrigue me? Do you want me to ask questions? Are you wanting to provoke something within me? I'm going to be kind of looking for these things. That's first. And then second, I'm going to be listening for the benefits of what it is that you're taking me into. What is it that you want me to know about your brand and about what you're offering? And of course, the third piece is, does it feel connected? As you were saying, is it coming from my heart or is it coming from my head? And most likely there's going to be a little mix of both, which, when I shoot a video, there's a moment where I shoot up into my head and then I immediately drop back into my heart. So it's kind of knowing for ourselves when we do that and to remind ourselves that we can either stop the video and record again, or we can come back to it and learn how to shift our voices into progressing from that heart space. So I'm going to play the video, and what I want you to, Bernadette, do is to not watch this, but actually just close your eyes and just tune in.
Okay.
And just as if you were listening to a vibrational pattern going up and going down, going up and going down, and just tune in to where you feel, oh, wow, that was really connecting to my audience. And oops, that was kind of disconnecting from the audience.
Okay.
And that's really just keeping it real for now. The next phase of it, when I'm going to be guiding you, I'll work intuitively using a little bit of voice asana and a little bit of structure as well. So I'm going to see where this takes me as I'm listening in with you. And let's just take just a nice, solid, deep breath here together through the nose and inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Nice.
When was the last time you felt good about yourself? Do you loathe looking in the mirror or maybe going to a social event because you just don't like the way you look? You almost feel uncomfortable in your own skin. Do you sometimes turn to food as comfort or maybe restrict food because you feel like it's the only way you can get a handle on possibly how you look? Do you dash off to the gym because you're punishing yourself and you have to burn calories and you're not enjoying it, but you know you better get there because maybe you had some birthday cake or a candy bar? It's crazy, right? I'm Bernadette Giorgi, and I'm here to tell you I know how you feel and you're not alone. Last year, over 100 million Americans spent money on diet and exercise, either gadgets or pills or wraps, all in the search of finding the answer. Going through your day, not feeling good enough or strong enough or smart enough, and of course, definitely not thin enough, is no way to live. I know that I had enough. And through lots of soul searching, and some of it wasn't easy, I had to really dig and figure out, why do I feel so bad? Why am I loathing looking in the mirror and feeling so disgusted with myself? I started to really figure it out, that it comes from the inside. So I created the Just Be method, and it is a guide. It's not the answers, but you have the answers. So the Just Be method is what I use on all of my clients when they come to me seeking health and wellness and fitness. And we start out with the 3 B's. They are begin, believe, and become. I'd love to share my method with you, and to get you started, I'd love to share my 3 B's with you. The 3 B's to just be the best you. So I invite you to get started. Just give me your name and your email and look in your inbox for your guide to Just Be.
I'm going to put my headset on so that you can hear me clearly. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So how was that? Was it painful?
Um, well, it's funny. First of all, you and I have spoken about, I've had so much training that it's really hard to really just listen. And because I've been trying to stick to my message, it's really hard to figure out um, where I'm disconnecting, but just listening has really helped. You asked me to do that once before, and this time I see where I see what you're trying to get me to feel as opposed to watching a performance. So
Right,
I'm
right,
starting to understand that.
right.
If we're working in TV, it's all visual, and so to step back and listen is really different.
And that's the congruency that we'll find the more we practice that with ourselves, which is it's hard. It's hard to practice and sit with that ourselves all the time. But there's times when like this, you have a video that leads into a really big vision that you want to build an audience on, and when we're connecting internally to the heart space rather than from the head space. Um, you, as you said, you want to come from that integration of your message coming internally from you rather than speaking as if you're setting up a production for a ballet
Right,
performance. Yeah.
right,
So,
right.
so if we were to, because I watched this and listened to it before, and I picked up some things earlier when I first watched it, but now when I really tuned in, I wasn't watching you, I was actually just listening, and then I was kind of looking at the times to notice when you were in and out. And at the beginning, there was some really cool waves of you tapping in and getting started with the message, and then there was a glitch that appeared about 18 seconds after you said uncomfortable in your own skin. There was something that happened that kind of stopped me from flowing
Hmm.
into the next. There was like a drop down, which I don't
Uh-huh.
know. I don't know if you went up into your head. It sounded like you went up into your head at that place and and left your body, left the presence. You know, so I think there's a couple things for you, and this is with everybody, where we don't want to use trigger words that will trigger ourselves and will trigger others to deter them from wanting to learn more. And I have to be mindful of this too. I just spoke with a woman today. Her son, 2 years old, before he was 2 years old, had 6 surgeries on his heart. Four of
Wow.
them were open heart surgeries. So she's someone who's a nurse working in hospice for 15 years. And, here's this really chirpy woman that has a big vision that she wants to offer. And it was interesting because I noticed that I was being mindful of, not using trigger words, but it was interesting because she had reached a point of her life with where she's at and wanting to pursue her business goals that I think I could have said anything to her that wouldn't have offended her because she's actually worked through so much. But
Right.
with this message for you and with other women who have similar, helping other women overcome addiction, codependency, body image issues, things like, connecting to healthy food, ways of relating to the world in a more empowering way, we have to be mindful because our audience, they're not always going to be ready to hear what they need to hear.
Right.
So I think not that what you said triggered me, but I actually feel like there was something internally that you shifted and disconnected.
Hmm. It's
So
possible because this is very new for me to be talking so frankly about eating disorders and
right.
abusive exercise. So while I feel like that I'm not ruled by that in my life anymore, I certainly can get triggered and feel bad about those past experiences. So yeah, that could have happened. Or sometimes what happens, I start to remember things that people liked about a message that
Hmm.
I've, from before, and then, oh, I should have said this then, and it's really quite an art form to
Hmm.
to what you do that you're trying to get us to do, um, to stay in that space and deliver a succinct, meaningful message.
Yeah, there's waves of using our voice. We have to we have to realize that our brain is naturally going to tune out of tuning in. So our listeners and our audience, they're not going to catch every word that you say.
Mm,
However, as you may know with voice asana, there's going to be keywords that they're going to tune into,
mm-hmm.
and then there's going to be waves of them really catching on and saying, "Whoa, what she just did there was really powerful. I want to know more."
Hmm.
So, what we have to do in the video, especially for this lead capture video, is of course, at the very beginning, first 15 seconds, we have to use our voice and language in a way that's moving people into this state of feeling, whoa, I want to learn more. And after that, we hit them with a couple things like what you did with dashing to the gym, feeling like you got to burn off those calories. I love it when you slap me some cool thing that you've experienced about the women that come to you for these reasons. And I loved it when you shared that story of the woman before class saying, Bernadette, I ate a piece of cake last night. I need to burn it
Yeah,
off. Tell me what to
yeah,
do. And you said,
yeah,
and you took a deep breath and you said, did you enjoy the cake? And
yeah.
she said, no, I didn't. And you said, well, maybe that's where you should begin to look at,
Right.
obviously that's where your focus should be, not in burning off a few calories. So
Yeah.
I think to me, that's a little bit more along the lines of what intrigues me to what you connect with, because that's real
Mm-hmm.
rather than you just saying stuff. When you said dashing to the gym, I could actually feel connected to what you said because I know that you've been there and I know that you know a lot of women that are in that space.
Mm-hmm.
So I could feel myself being like, oh my gosh, I have to dash to the gym because I didn't make it for 3 days. Oh my goodness. I actually could
Right.
relate to you.
Mm.
So
Okay.
so there's areas in this video that are so powerful that I actually was like, whoa, this is what I want more. I want to hear more of this. There were other areas within the video where I said, I don't want to listen to that. So
Mm-hmm.
so um, being mindful when you listen back to this. Every time we shoot a video, I don't expect dramatic, amazing results sometimes with a video that I shoot. Sometimes I'll be very surprised by the end of, a week after people see my video. Sometimes I'll be surprised in a different a different reason that they don't like it if
Right.
so we can't really expect anything really. What we can do is work out our own way of relating to our message. So the relationship with you and exercise and fitting into your own skin and showing up and being seen and feeling good enough, these are really great topics that every woman deals with. And I've met a lot of
Mm.
women recently, the ones who are more so considered by American standards as attractive, have a much more difficult time in these areas. So, this is a really big thing for people. And, I just want to share, look at all these comments here. I mean, it makes me feel gushy. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these people that are just so moved by what you're doing. You know, it's just it's really empowering. And I know that, you know, your message is solid, but there's ways to really, like, I think, you know, really settling in.
Mm-hmm.
When you settle into your message, I'm just so moved.
Mm.
When you're figuring out if this is the right thing to say, or if you're worried, I can feel your worry.
Hmm.
So let's kind of break this down now. I always like to do this in the 4 segments.
Okay.
So I think what I'd like to do is create a little skeleton for you, and chisel away at the areas that are just not needed in this video, and focus on the areas that you're just naturally, that actually work.
Okay, great.
You know, even with this video, with my editing skills, I could cut this up enough to make it work. However, I would prefer that you re-record it after this session.
Okay.
But, you know, you have enough here that really does work. It's just there's a little bit in between that you're going to lose people.
Mm.
So
Okay.
let's now just look really quickly. What is the end goal? I know the end goal, but I want you to express just what's the end goal after somebody watches this video. What do we want them to do?
My end goal would be, I mean, I'm trying to build my list and try to get my tribe. So I want to send them my 3Bs in exchange for their email.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully they'll enter into my sales funnel where I'll, you know, talk to them more about my different products and
Okay.
my workbook and that kind of thing.
So you're emailing them the list, the 3Bs.
I wasn't sure. I mean, that was my next step to talk to you and Mike about. Like, do they automatically download it? Should I email it to them and they can look for it in their inbox? It seems like there's no right answer for that. It seems like it's a preference, or you test it to see what people like better. I know
What
for me, I like to save things for later, but
what do
that's
you
just me, you
Well, what do
know.
you feel like the 3Bs, what would they give me? How would they
If
benefit me?
they set up your mindset to go on a different type of a journey.
Mm.
So, you know, I feel like that part of the problem with health and fitness is that it perpetuates a very unhealthy practice, and people are always looking for shortcuts. So, I tell everybody that I was my first client, and that I really did start to. I'm a copious note taker, and I love to make lists, and I literally came up with this whole thing for myself so that I could stick with it. And so, you know, because when I came up with all this, I was not working in fitness, I was working in fashion. But I knew that I couldn't live the way I was living anymore.
Mhm.
So I feel like the 3Bs, that came later as I was trying to make it cute and, you know, try to market something. But really, it was about, you know, how to begin and then believe in the steps that you take and then becoming what you really imagine yourself to become. So it's the 3 steps that I want people to take before they can really begin to make effective changes in their life.
Okay. I'm just a copious note taker here. Hold on. Okay. So I'm going to work backwards with you here because I really liked what you just did. And I know that because I asked you a question, you were really honest and open with me. And I feel like when you're on video, I'd like you to break it up into these 4 segments so that in your head, you're not thinking about it, but you're just saying, oh, part 1, this is what I talk about. Part 2, this is where I go. Part 3, this is where I go. Oh, here's part 4, this is where I go. So,
Okay.
you know, what I like to do is I ask myself, of course, what's my call to action? And my call to action, if I were you, would be to sell them on the 3Bs. But by selling them on the 3Bs, I'm really selling them on my process. And if I'm selling them on my process, I'm inviting them into doing things in a way that maybe they haven't, like you said, maybe they haven't quite yet understood, and there's a perception shift that must take place, like you said,
Hmm.
like your mindset, this different
Right.
mindset. So I would kind of go that route. I wouldn't quite go generic, uh, technically setting it up that way, like where you're saying, I'm going to shift your mindset or anything. But I like what you said about, I'm gonna, these three B's set up your mindset to go on a different journey. You don't make it about what other people make it about. So I really liked how you described it. So the final step, and I made four little dots on my notepad here. Number four is where, we're basically doing the action step. We're calling them in. And in order to do that, we really have to sell the three B's, but the three B's kind of represents more about your process. What do you really represent long term for them to kind of tune into? So we don't want to give them an overhaul too much, but
Right.
we want to dabble just enough, like what you said. Um, the action step is enter your email below to get access to the three B's. The three B's are a part of what I learned, a shortcut, if you will, because of my own being my own client,
Right.
going through my own unhealthy practices, realizing that if I wanted to make effective change in my life, starting in the fashion industry, realizing that it wasn't for me, moving into more of a fitness health way of living and doing my work, these three B's are going to help you set up the mindset to go on a different journey. So go ahead and enter your email below. And on the next page, I'm going to share with you these three B's, but I'm also going to give you a little bit more about how to start applying them in your daily life,
Okay.
because that's tangible.
Okay.
Can we do that?
I hadn't thought about selling the three B's as something separate. I thought of it more of a gateway, but you're right. That's something that they would have access to right away.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
on the next page, you would say, okay, so the three B's are, and then you say them, and then you list them, and you describe each of them, and then you simply just do your thing, and you just talk about how each of them has helped you, and then the call to action at the end of that video would be, so if you want support and da 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 da, click below, and you're gonna learn more about da 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 da.
Right. Okay.
That's
That
one.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels like that I'm really giving them something.
Right? Rather than just
Yeah.
saying some
Yeah,
blah blah that yeah.
right. Okay. No, I
So,
like that.
most people, there's so many ways to get information out there, as you know. There's so many people who have DVDs on health and fitness and wellness and mindset shifts. But what people obviously need, as you know, is help in applying this in their daily life. And that's the key. And if you connect them with that, your list is going to build.
Hmm.
So you don't have to work one on one with people or in live group sessions all the time. You can create this bigger tribe list audience by just speaking to them in this way and offering them this
Right.
type of connection, which you're starting to do here.
Hmm.
That's good.
Okay.
So it feels actually real.
Yeah, and it feels like I think for the listener that that could be an easy, not so scary way to start.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So aside from then easing into the action step, which you know what you just told me, it's really simple. You already said it moments ago. So don't worry about what to say. The way that you just said it to me moments ago, that's kind of the energy that you want to take. You know,
Okay.
you take a deep breath and you say, enter your email below to get the 3 Bs, which is da 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 da. It's going to set you
Mm-hmm.
up on your mindset to go on a different journey. You know, I'm an example here. And just the way you did it. And then say, okay,
Okay.
so, you know, so when you enter your email, you're going to get on the next page the 3 Bs. You're also going to hear how to apply these in your daily life. So I'll see you on the next page.
Great. Okay.
So that's number 4. We've gone through that, and I feel like that's easy. I feel like you already know where to go with that. So you feel pretty comfortable there?
I do. I do. And I think that sometimes as I'm knowing that I need to wrap up my video, that number 4 seems to be a stumbling block.
It is for
You know, that
everyone.
yeah,
Yeah. It's like this finale of our value and believing in your own value in a big way, but yet not overselling it.
right.
Yeah. So I think you're good. I liked how you described it to me, you know, really easy. I wanted to know more. You don't want to give too much away. Obviously, that's a killer. If we give too much away, there's not anything more that I will want to know if you give me
Right.
too much. So give me just enough to have a taste in my mouth that I want another bite.
Right.
I want another bite. Where did that go? Oh, I have to enter my email and get the other one. Okay, good. I'm going to do that now. So, okay, so now, uh, basically, okay, so I think, you know, honestly, the second step, I'm actually skipping here. So we've got number 4, the call to action. Number 2, I really liked how you did the facts. And I loved it was like a minute and 5-ish, and you said, you know, you're not alone in finding this answer, and you went on to giving a fact of you know, X amount of people buy this and do the wraps, and you know, you went on a really good. Let me go back to this here and see if I can come back to where you were. You're not alone. Over 100 million Americans spent money on diet and exercise.
Hmm.
So I know that we're at a minute here and 8 seconds, and I'm really hoping that we can get to this point at about 18 seconds.
Hmm.
So there's some things in the way between 0 to 108 that don't need to be there. Uh,
Okay.
I'm going to I'm going to try to now. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to the first step. And the first step for all those of you listening here is obviously, I always say we have 15 seconds to captivate our audience. If we lose that, if we don't compel our audience, then we're going to lose them. And we could lose
Mm.
some really good prospects or clients and an audience. If we do attract them and keep them connected and hook them into emotionally captivating them in a cool way, letting them know how we're going to help serve what they need, then they keep listening, and they'll say, okay, yeah, okay, what she's saying there, that makes sense. Okay, well, what is she offering? I'll keep listening. Okay. So, you know, they're very skeptical. Um, the first 15 seconds, they're open. You know, what's this all about? After
Mm.
that, they're thinking, okay, what is she talking? Oh, okay, she said over 100 million. Wow, that's a lot of people. that, wow, I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that spent money on diet and exercise. That's me. So we've got to get to this point to connect them to, oh, that's me, faster.
Okay.
Now, there's a point in the beginning that I liked, and then there was some stuff after that that I wasn't into. I didn't feel compelled by. I felt unsettled. And then you came back and gave me this, and I was really connected to what you were then moving me into, because I was really curious, where's she going to take it from here? And then after that, you gave me this really cool vibe. You said, not thin enough. That's no way to live. And then you moved into, digging inside, going deeper. I really, 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 really loved where you took that. So
Okay.
there was this really amazing energy that I got from you that made me say, oh my goodness, this is someone that I know is going to help me. But there were a little bit of things in between, after the beginning and then after the quote that kind of came in and out. But there were really powerful points. So when I go to number 2, the fact of over 100 million Americans spent money on, and you went into that fact, there's got to be a way for you to button it up a little bit faster and make it a little bit more real for them, and moving into the next, which was, let me see, all in the search of finding the answer. So after you say the fact, number 2, and you say all in the search of finding the answer, that's perfect. So after that, do you see where you go here with your eyes?
Mm-hmm.
You said, as soon as you said, and you took it here, you lost me.
Okay.
I disconnect when you're not looking in the camera. Do you see that?
Yeah, I was just writing it down. Yeah, I know I do that when I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. And that's what is going to, if I didn't know you and I were listening to this, you would have had me up until, that quote would have had me if I had been listening that whole time. But that might not have kept me unless I was, okay, where is she taking this now? Does she come back to me? Does she come back to connect?
Mm,
Do you know what I mean?
okay. Yeah.
So if you do that, if I ever do that on camera, and sometimes my eyes, if I'm super tired, I I tend to love shooting during the day because I like the natural light coming in. If I don't have an opportunity to, I have to shoot at night, which I've been doing lately. And in lieu of shooting at night, my eyes are tired from the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that my eyes get lazy, and for some reason they're not as direct. So I have to stop, and I close my eyes, and then I look into the camera as if I were looking into you, Bernadette, or Rose or Rosie, or Natalie, or somebody. I imagine that I'm looking into your eyes, and I have to remind myself, right, I'm connecting with you. So I relax my face, I relax my body. If I was anxious in whatever way, physically, I connect back physically, and I get out of my head at that point. I take a deep breath and I just go again. If I realize that my eyes, start to move around. So that's what we do. And we can't expect our entire video to go through smoothly each time. The professionals cut. We can cut at that time. You can stop. You can take a little break, take a breath, and then you come back to the next point, which is why I want you to record in 4 segments.
Mm-hmm.
So, the fact, all we have to do is we connect people to over 100 million Americans have spent, or sorry, over, what was it?
There are over 100 million Americans. I've left out the part where it's over $6 billion.
Okay,
So yeah, so
I like
there's
that.
like a little fact in there. Yeah.
Okay, so over 100 million Americans have spent money in getting help for fitness, or have spent money on diet pills or surgeries,
Right.
or, this is over $6 billion just in, was it in 1 year?
Mm-hmm.
Just in last
Yep.
year alone. Are you done? All in search of finding themselves. So I like how you did that. So try to evolve the message to that place where you're okay. This is a big one. This is really big. So when you
So it sounds like I spent too much time then trying to describe the bad feeling then in the beginning. Like I think I could probably
Mhm.
get to the meat of that sooner.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to go to this one, because this is easy. You're stating a fact, you're connecting to something real, something that you're relating to people who probably have either known somebody who has spent money in that industry, and you're kind of relating to them what's really happening. This is real. This is really happening. So the fact that you're giving here also lets them know, it's setting it up that, let me go back to all in the search of finding the answer. So you said all in the search of finding the answer. So after you say all in the search of finding the answer, now what's the answer that they're searching for?
Um, I think everyone wants, well, the audience I'm speaking to wants to feel like their eating, their obsessive exercising is not controlling their life, that they get a handle on it, that they can be healthy and at a healthy weight and control what they're eating and it's not controlling them.
Okay. All in the search of finding the answer. That's the end of number 2. Number 3, we move into the benefit for them. We have to remember that. Benefit for them. Benefit for them. Write that down, number 3.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to 1 because that's the that's what we're gonna work on. Okay, so we've got the fact, really simple, really clean. You're gonna work on using your voice to open it up just like you did, all in the search of finding the answer. So what I want to do now is look at, okay, all in the search of finding the answer. Are you one of those people who've been feeling not good enough, who've been feeling not thin enough, like you have to dash off to the gym in a moment's notice because you ate that cookie or piece of cake and you just feel like you got to get it out because you can't just sit with yourself and feel worthy of just enjoying who you are and food? Can you make that something your own?
Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, I was writing my note taking. Um, yeah, absolutely, because I can bring it back to them, like you said, the benefit for them. So,
All in
um,
the search of finding the answer. So come into this more tenderness voice, like the nurture, the mama voice, the nurture voice.
right.
Okay, so be the mom here. Okay, Noelle. So, are you one of these women who are looking for a reason to feel good enough in your body, to feel thin enough, to feel like you just want to live, but you don't know how because you ate that piece of cake and you want to go to the gym and work it out?
Hmm.
Can you make it more dancing, fun, but being that mama voice, nurture voice, but still bring a little lightness to it and intensity at the same time?
I think so. I have to think about it because I think that what I could probably do is take some of the things that I said in the beginning and put them here,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you know. So all in search of the answer. So what about you? Have you been searching? Have you been the girl dashing to the gym because you indulged in a piece of cake? Are you the girl that aren't going to a wedding because
Mm-hmm,
you're afraid of what you might look like? And
mm-hmm.
I can expand on that. I was there too, and I literally was my first client. I was searching, and I came up with my Just Be method.
And that's when you then would move into step 4.
Okay.
That's a good segue. But Mike always messages to me as well, where when we're moving from step 3, which is the benefit for them, we do want to tie in us, but we don't want to make it about us.
Mm. So the benefit should be then, um, I developed the Just Be method to help guide you to your answer. If that would be their benefit, correct?
The benefit is the Just Be method was developed out of my own experiences in working on myself and working on
Mm.
hundreds and maybe thousands of women in the fitness
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Okay.
So don't make it about you,
Right.
because then I don't listen. I'm not connecting. It's what happens. It's what happens to they don't want to hear about you. They want to hear about them.
Right. Right.
They'll want to hear about you later after they know you. They're gonna, they'll meet you and they'll want to learn. Well, tell us more about you, Bernadette. Because you know, share more about you. So,
Right.
but at first, it's really about okay. These are the facts. Over 100 million Americans are dealing with trying to lose weight, spending money on fitness. Literally over $6 billion just in the past year of people trying to look good, and this involves surgery and wraps and going to the gym and spending money on machinery. And when does it end? They're all in search of finding the answer. So what's in it for you? When are you going to stop feeling bad about yourself? When are you going to stop feeling guilty for eating that piece of cake? When are you going to actually go to the gym or the studio or your yoga class and feel like, oh, you deserve to be there? Well, as my brand states, just be. That's what I'm here to share with you, that you can just be. I've developed a method, the 3 Bs, that are going to share with you how to have a healthy perspective. It's a shortcut that I've developed to set you up into the right mindset so that you go on a different journey. When you enter your information below on the next page, I'm going to share with you these 3 Bs, but I'm also going to share more about how to apply these in your daily life.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from. I was channeling you. So sometimes I wish I was that good for myself as I am for you guys.
Well, I hear you. I hear you. Um, yeah.
It's good. It's good. I
Okay.
think um, I'm just tuning in. I think I asked Mike last night. I said when I was working with you the last time, and with Lenita and with Allison, I said it was so easy for me to just tap into your energy and just go for it with a message. And I realized it's because with you guys, I'm coming from this detached place. I'm not judging me
Right.
in this message. I'm looking at it really holistically. I'm getting grounded. I'm opening it up and I'm expanding. I'm connecting it to who your audience will be. And I'm literally in a place of non-judgment when I connect to you and your message. And I think
Mm.
that's when I go on video. It's not, it. I still work through my stuff when I'm on video, because it's me.
Right.
And I have to get out of my own head, and there's a detachment that must come through if I want to really. My best videos are when I detach from my own persona and I'm really just really connecting deeply into serving them, and going deeper, not just having it about me, but saying, okay, how can I give this quote and really let them know that this is here for them, and you know what would have been my experiences that can share with them more, and in a compassionate way. So maybe try practicing, detaching a bit, and just going through it really lightly and effortlessly, and really flow through it really, like like your best moments with Noelle, with your daughter,
Right.
that lightness, that, oh wow, that was a great moment, as a mom, wow, that
Mhm.
felt really good, oh my goodness, that came through so nice, so effortless. That's the energy that you want to bring.
Okay.
You're coming at it now with a headstrong, okay, 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 so
Yeah.
so
Well, because it's funny too because I think that this message is really calling out people to come out from that space. And since I had to do it, I kind of what I'm trying to be sensitive to it and be light about it at the same time.
mhm,
And it's a serious problem, and people are younger and younger and younger are having these issues, and it's scary and it's sad. So I
mhm.
sometimes if I get too connected to that space, I don't think I'm very effective. I think
No.
it's too maybe sympathetic, empathetic, I'm not sure, but
Mhm.
it's too close. It's like, trying to, like you said, I'm judging it maybe too much, and I also know that women are very judgmental.
Yeah.
So it's
Connect to the woman who's healing, and look at her from a place of tenderness and compassion, and look at her as if she's cried and cried and cried all night, let it go, and now she's laughing with you, and she's saying, okay, Bernadette, I'm ready for your 3Bs. So
right,
go through that process if you must, if you must feel that to connect, but realize that there's that place through that process of grieving and that intensity. But you can't help those women. We can't always help those women. We can be with those types of people. We can be there. But the work that you're here to do is you're here to pick them up after they've fallen and they've gotten up and they've said, okay, all right, how can I help myself now? What can I do?
mm,
So so let's now realize that you're here to work with those women who have cried and cried and cried and cried and stopped crying, started laughing and saying, okay, okay, I'm ready, okay.
right,
you know
right,
that's where we're connecting now to that voice within us. Okay, okay, so a lot of money is spent. These are the facts. You're all in search of finding the answers, but where does that leave you? Are you going to keep going to the gym and pounding out that piece of cake, or are you really going to enjoy it?
right.
Are you going to keep worrying about being thin enough to try to fit into your jeans? Or are you just going to relax and actually lose weight because you're happy and not stressed out?
Yeah.
So connect from that place. That's where you're really going to move people.
Okay.
The first element is, let me come back to where you opened it here. Okay, there's a way within the first nine seconds or so that you can button it up and say it in 2 seconds or 3 seconds. And you immediately say, when was the last time you felt good about yourself?
Mm.
And say it in a way that really grabs their attention. Let's try that.
Okay. When was the last time you felt good about yourself?
Nice. 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 That was strong. So you can say that a lot faster and it gets right into it. Because now I know, okay, all right, here it comes. So you better inspire me now, right?
Mm.
When was the last time you felt good about yourself? You can say it when you're smiling. You know, you can
Right.
smile when you say it, but say it from your core rather than saying, when was the last time you felt good about yourself? You
Right.
know,
This is like talking turkey now, like getting serious.
right. You know, so try it now with an inhale, take a deep inhale, say that one more time and come from the diaphragm, but smile.
When was the last time you felt good about yourself?
So say it all in one sweep. When was the last time you felt good about yourself? Say it in one full sweep.
When was the last time you felt good about yourself?
I'm still questioning you. I'm questioning, you're questioning yourself.
Hmm.
When was the last time you felt good about yourself?
When was the last time you felt good about yourself?
Yes. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Because that's grounding me into whoa, she is taking me in.
Right.
She's leading me.
Right.
The other voice is a little bit more surfacey, a little bit more like I would call my friend voice. That would be my friend voice. More of my natural companion voice.
I see. Okay, so you want me to grab them and be more serious right away. Like really, um, I guess it would be more compelling than I was going to say something right to them, like
When
calling them on their.
Yeah. When was the last time you felt good about yourself? You know, I don't think you need all of this. Do you loathe looking in the mirror? It takes me down a weird place that I don't want to go to.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure either. I think I was kind of like having the big thing is owning up to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when people say, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, and inside you
Mm.
know they're dying, you know.
So say
And
that. When was the last time you felt good about yourself? When someone asks you if you're okay, do you say you're fine and you're really not? When are you really going
mm,
to own up?
hmm. It's funny because when I messaged you and told you I was working on like a different angle,
Mhm.
that's exactly what I was kind of going down that path of, um, you know, when are you going to stop lying to yourself? That's how I start.
You've
When are you going to stop lying to yourself and look in the mirror and really be honest? And
you
not necessarily say that, but kind of have that message like, okay, enough's enough.
yeah, and you've got to get to the point.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
So
and then I
that
guess
yeah,
if it's too down, then it's hard to bring it back up again.
right.
Okay.
I think that hold on one second here. Okay. I have a session coming up, but I do want to finish what we've
Okay.
started here. So give me one second. Okay. So I think being more direct and being a guide, like you said, you're guiding them through this process, being
Hmm.
more of a guide to them rather than, kind of like a friend, like, okay, you want to go to the mall today? You want to go shopping? It's like, no, like you're here for them. Like, let them know that.
Yeah.
When was the last time you felt good about yourself?
Something that we've addressed in our group, which is really the truth, is that when you've struggled, you don't want to all of a sudden be perceived as like the guru. But in all honesty, the things that I have been through, in person one-on-one, I have lots and lots and lots of people coming to me. And it's funny in the video thing, it's like, I don't know, it's almost like, I don't want to say, well, listen, I have all the answers. Sign up below because I'm going to, straighten your shit out.
Hmm. Hmm.
Which sometimes is what I want to say.
Well, that's
But
that's the voice that you must connect me to then.
right, okay,
And that's what we just did. That's you moved into that space with me and with that voice. You
right,
know, when was the last time you cared about yourself? You know,
right.
when was the last time you cared about yourself? When was the last, using your voice to demand, this presence.
Hmm.
That's where you're at now. So you have what to say. Don't say too much here because you're overly stating the obvious.
Right. I agree with you. I think that that's yeah, and it's too much down stuff too. It's too
Yeah,
much that most women would get the point right away. We all
absolutely.
talk to ourselves the same way. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so don't give me too much of that stuff that I don't, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to that negative self-talk. So
Right. I don't know you that well yet.
so and you don't want to attract women who are just going to be in that state of mind. You want to work with
Yeah,
people who are beyond that, but who now need more support in creating a structure for their lives,
right.
for their well-being. So maybe you go there at the beginning. Maybe you're a woman who's looking for a little bit more structure with your fitness, like I was.
Mm,
I would go somewhere like that. And then you say, over 100 million Americans, and you say the fact, all looking to find the answer. You know, when are you, and then you go into that space of proposing it for them. When are you? When are you?
mm.
And then you move into, so we're dripping in at the beginning, you're using this powerful voice. We're dripping in, maybe you're just looking for structure. Maybe, you're not saying you need a structure. You're saying maybe you're just looking for structure for, your well-being so that you don't have to be rigid, but that you have some flexibility with how to make more empowering lifestyle choices.
Okay.
Propose something like that, then move into the fact, then come back to the benefit. And you then will say, so the structure that you're looking for, you just answer to it.
Okay.
Number three is you're providing the value, what you're benefiting, how you're benefiting them, and you're answering to it. So you're answering to what you proposed at the beginning. So rather than searching for the answers by spending like all those 100 million Americans out there, we're going to actually move into an action step. I'm going to give you these 3 B's, a process that I've developed to help you create a mindset shift, to help you set up on a different journey. These are tools that I've used for myself and hundreds or thousands of my students in the fitness industry. It's where to begin before you can begin to go on a healthy pattern of making positive choices in your life. This is where you start. So if you feel like you could benefit from these 3 B's to, really move forward and get that support to feel empowered in your body, not need to go to the gym to punish yourself, but to enjoy yourself, to feel healthy. This is for you. Enter your email below on the next page. I'm also going to share with you how to apply these 3 B's in your daily life. I'm Bernadette with Just Be.
Okay. You have
I
my
would
wheels spinning.
I would play with that The biggest thing for you now is to separate these in 4 segments.
Yeah.
Number 1 is pow, pow, pow with your strength guru voice. Empower them with that intro. Moving into so maybe you're just looking for a structure to move into a more holistic way so you don't have to punish yourself, like over 100 million Americans are, spending over $6 billion just in last year alone. Do you see how we can segue into
Yeah.
that? And then after, okay, so all searching to find the answer for what? Are you going to keep going to the gym and punishing yourself? Are you going to keep da 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 da?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want da 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 da, which moves into step 4, which are the 3 B's?
Now, in a previous video, I had said something to the effect, do you want to stop turning to food for comfort, or do you want to make it your fuel? And someone said I started to sound like I was selling something, and I guess I was trying to figure out a way to have them understand um, what the mindset really was about.
So I think
I,
it's the way that it's the way that you're presenting it. So
okay.
say it one more time, and then I'll share with you more of a.
So let's see. When I was talking about benefit,
Mhm.
I said, and within my Just Be method, I teach you how to go from your food being your friend to being fuel for your body.
Okay.
And instead of punishing workouts and painful workouts, they become pleasurable, mindful movement.
Okay. So if you're someone who tends to punish yourself with food, where you really want to eat something that tastes good and you know you shouldn't and you do anyway, and then you overdo it, like binge eating or overeating, and then you tend to punish yourself, like going to the gym for an hour more, making sure that you burn off those calories because you know that you just can't sit with yourself if you didn't do it. I would make it more real rather than just stating it.
Okay.
So try to make it a little bit more real.
And more, I guess, more conversational than just stating a benefit.
Yeah,
Okay.
but if you state a benefit, the benefit that you should state would be about, providing value about the 3 B's. Like after you say what the 3 B's are and why they're so helpful, you would then say, these are helpful if you're someone who uses food to punish yourself or goes to the
I
gym
see.
to feel like you're worthy of being who you are. That that makes sense if you're
So the
explaining.
three B, okay, so the three B's will help you if you're someone that turns to food for
Hmm,
comfort instead of nourishing your body. Or if
nice,
you're using, okay, so,
nice.
okay, I get it.
Right, 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 right. I think what you tend to do is you open up a statement by giving a benefit as if you were promoting something. And I tend to go into a promotional voice sometimes if I am not connected to what I'm saying. I use a voice that sounds like, I'm, you know, and here is a book that is going to move you from here to there. And it's like, well, what's the book really about? Oh, right, okay. How do you integrate what you're sharing? How do you really feel into it? If you're just like I said, if you're just giving that benefit, great. If you're moving into the 3 B's, oh yeah, here's what it does. Boom, boom, boom. It's for you if you're da 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 da. But be more integral as you're leading up to the 3 B's,
Right.
giving a little bit more of that nurturing example. But then when you're giving those benefits, yeah, absolutely, you can go into that kind of action statement at the
Okay.
end. Yeah. Because then that makes sense. I think what was happening is you were making those benefit statements in and out rather than kind of collectively after you built it up, after you built up the energy.
Okay. I think that makes sense. Okay.
So I think what I would do, listen back to this replay, connect back to the 4 parts, and only focus on practicing those in little segments, really simply.
I think that would really help me too because it's 4 separate thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The first segment is about 15 seconds leading into the fact, which should be about maybe 15 or 20 seconds, which leads into the benefit, which is going to take more time, maybe a minute, which leads into the action that closes it in another maybe 23 seconds.
So in total, this would be 2 minutes or under then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The next follow-up video, that's where you can give more details and share more about yourself and your journey and how this applies in their daily life. Why would they practice these, or where would these 3Bs apply? Practicality, basically.
Right.
Where would these 3Bs be applied in your
Awesome.
life? Let's start with the first.
Right.
Yeah, good.
So do you think that the 3B should be something that they get sent to them or just um, something that I just talk about in the next video?
I would say, if I were you, I would open up the next video and I would say, I emailed you my PDF document of the 3Bs, something like that.
Okay. Good.
But
Okay.
I'm going to share with you now how you can apply them. So before you go to your email, let me just give you a background of how these can be applied in your daily life.
Okay. Perfect.
So practice these in segments. What I would do is record yourself and say, Robyn, here's segment 4, my action step. Robyn, here's segment 3, my benefits. Robyn, here's segment 2, the fact. Robyn, here's segment 1, the opening, moving
Perfect.
into, yeah,
Okay. Perfect.
awesome. And then
Yay!
yeah, good job. That's great. Oh,
And
so
I took lots and lots and lots of notes, so I'm glad that you recorded this in
that's
case I
good.
missed anything. Yeah, no, thank you because I feel it's good to be thinking in an organized way, because then that takes me leaving and going into my headspace. So this is great. This is exactly what I needed.
Yeah, you're definitely in a really great space, and you have you have such an empowering message that's taken leaps into this new message for you, which is moving into much more of a healing energy than teaching fitness and health. So
Right.
it's powerful, and I think that you have a lot here that it just needs to be honed in, which it's the message needs to be honed in. So you're doing really great. I think you're ahead of where most people are in this process. It takes time to unravel it all. So keep just kind of sitting with it. As I mentioned, detaching really helps to detach
Mm,
yourself from it and really feeling lightness, even though it's an intense subject.
okay. Oh, I know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow.
Well, I look forward to seeing the video. Tag me when it's ready. You can post it in the group, and I will obviously be really excited to tune into that. So, if you want to, start doing a recording of yourself on video with your eyes closed, so you can get the message first and really tune in, and then open your eyes. That's a really helpful way to do it too.
Oh, that's a good suggestion. Okay.
Mm,
Oh, I
yeah,
like that.
yeah, it feels really good. I do it a lot.
Mm,
Especially if you've had a
okay.
busy day and a lot of go, 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 do, do, do. It's really nice to just kind of close your eyes and connect and just sit with it as you flow into the message. So after you practice it a bit, close your eyes and it really just it can come in, and then when you're ready, you open your eyes and you're like you're just there.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, good.
Awesome, Bernadette. Well, Pleasure as always. I'm
Yes.
excited. We'll do this again sometime very soon.
Yes, yes, yes. Namaste. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Have a good night.
Thank you. You
Bye for
too.
now.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Well, if you haven't yet connected with me in creating your meaningful brand, that's what we've been doing. Bernadette working on her video presence, her messaging, and getting in touch with her lead capture page video. This is an image here, creating your meaningful brand. It's something that you may have seen that Mike and I have been doing with those of you who are ready to step into your presence, your voice, your meaningful message. And we are here to help you take your message and move it forward into reality and doing what you love in a more meaningful way, getting your message out in a global way. If you haven't yet connected with me, you will be receiving an email with a video and you can connect with me there. If you haven't yet heard back from me and you've reached out to us, go ahead and message me personally. You can email me personally at robyn@schoolofonlinebusiness.com, ROBYN at schoolofonlinebusiness.com. If I haven't reached out, it may not mean that I am not inspired to work with you, or I maybe don't resonate with your message. It just may mean that there have been well over 300 people now just in the past 2 weeks that have reached out to connect. So it's going to take some time for me to reach out to you, and it's going to be very helpful if you reach out to me if you're interested to get support in building out your meaningful business and your brand. So I look forward to connecting with those of you who I haven't yet. Have a great night. Be you in business.